today's topic is going to be based off of motivation. I really don't like that word ever since I heard that motivation was garbage by Mel Robbins. But for today, I'm going to say we're going to use a little temporary antidote. This is something that, the doc is going to make you want to come back with, because the reason I don't like motivation is because it's temporary and you already know what you should be doing, but you need somebody else to solidify and make you feel something that you already know is going on. But pretty much today's topic, I want it to be the reason or reasons that one of you guys have for acting or behaving in a particular way. And that's why I say today's topic is based off of motivation, because I do want you to feel something after listening to this episode of The Dose, and I do want you to possibly move in a different way after you hear this episode of The Dose. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Today's topic is going to be based off of perseverance. It's a noun meaning steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. Accomplish your goals by any means necessary.
All right, Today's dose, as you guys probably already figured out because it's 2 minutes and 57 seconds into it, is going to be just a little bit different. Today's episode is really spontaneous. I didn't plan this episode, and I promise you this episode was very last second. I'm not going to say last minute. I'm going to say last second. I had two options of how I was going to do the dose this morning. I had one option that I was going to tell stories. I'm going to tell you why. People love stories. And somebody sent me a Facebook message yesterday, somebody that's new to the dose, never really heard of the dose, and they checked it out. And they checked out a few episodes and they say, you know what? I really like this. This is dope. But I'm just a little bit curious. Have you been interviewed by other people? I say, yeah, I've done quite a bit of interviews. They say, you got a link to something so I can see how you started and how you got to where you are right now, because I just want to see what the backstory was. So part of me was thinking, maybe I should get on a dose and I should do like story time, start at the beginning of where it all started and go all the way up to today. And I was like, man, that would definitely be more than 20 minutes. Maybe I can break it down into segments. But then something else was kind of heavy on my heart, and it was I chose to go with this one. Literally, it was a flip of the coin decision. I could have went the story route, but today I just wanted to do an impromptu, straight off the dome, no agenda, no topic, just wanted to get some stuff out because I had some questions that I didn't know the answers to, and maybe my dosers would be able to help me out, because there's some things that's just been lingering around in my head and I just need a different perspective. I've been having my Markiss tunnel vision my whole life, and I just need a broader perspective. So if you guys can chime in the comment section and help me out, I'm going to go probably kind of fast because it's just going to be rapid fire. But I got a big question, and my question is why? My question is why? Boy, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be on one today, man. You better watch out, because why? Let's start with, why is accountability seen as such a bad word? That's something that's just lingering on me. Why do people see accountability as such a bad thing when you know that it's much needed in your life? Why is taking a look in the mirror such a hard thing? Is it because you don't like what you see? Is it because it's ugly? And I'm not talking about the physical presence. I'm talking about staring deep into your soul, getting to the underlying cause of why you do some of the things that you do. And you may be afraid that what you see is going to be very ugly. Just why? Somebody had the answers to those questions. I would greatly appreciate it. Why is when things are brought to the table, it's such a bad thing? Why do we focus so much on, and I'm not being specific here, I'm just talking about broad. There's nothing that's happened that's caused this. It's just a lot of questions that's lingering in my head. And when things stay in your head, it's kind of like a pop bottle. You just keep shaking it, then it just kind of explodes. But right now we just exploding on the dose a little bit. Why do people like to focus more so on the negative as opposed to the positive? That's another why that I have. Why is it that we're so focused on the problem as opposed to trying to attempt to provide solutions to the problem? Why is being called out on your BS considered such a bad thing? I'm just a little bit curious about that. A little bit off topic, but I guess everything's open free game today. Why were we able to create a vaccine in less than a year, but we still won't publicize a cure for cancer, although it's been multiple decades that it's been in existence? I would imagine it's because of greed. Why does the salad cost more than the unhealthy double cheeseburger? I think it's because we want to be sick, because there's no money in the cure, there's money in the sickness. Why, even though we know we're supposed to be doing the right thing, we do the wrong thing, even though we know it. Example, heck, why can I read, 60 something books over the last, year and a half, but only probably implement about 30% of it? See, I'm not the type that's not afraid to look in the mirror and call myself to the table, because I'm solution based. I'm not problem based. When I notice a problem, I try to figure out one or at least two solutions to that problem. Why can't we all have that mentality? Why, even though we know that the dose show is straight fire every single time, and I get message after message after message saying, you've helped save my job, or, oh man, you helped me increase my productivity, or, oh, you've helped save my life. Even though we know that it's straight lit, it's so hard to just Hulk smash that share button. Why is that so hard? Why is it that somebody else could be on YouTube literally putting food in front of their face with a microphone close to their face, snacking on food, and can rack up millions of subscribers, but I can't even get 200? Why? I don't know. Maybe it's none of my business. Maybe that's not God's plan. Maybe that's not my will. Maybe that's not my destination. Maybe that's not my path. Why is it that when I just go so hard and I do things that people don't think that they would do or deem necessary, I'm considered crazy? Why is it when I go above and beyond and want to live my absolute best life, it's looked at as crazy? Why does the word crazy even exist? I just think that there's levels to life. Zach per tweet, can I get a hallelujah? Probably not. He's asleep right now. I just got some questions. Why, guys? Why? I'm just very curious. There's so many questions as to why in the world. Why do we pretend that mental health is not a real thing? Why does it get swept under the rug? Why is some of the successful people doing some of the hardest things, and we know the recipe required for it because it's pretty simple? I mean, when you break it down to the least common denominator, just hard work, consistency, and doing the right things over and over and over with a progressive mindset, that's going to lead you to success in any business, anything that you want to accomplish in life. That's the easiest, even though we know that. Why is it so hard? Why is consistency so hard? How come one minute we be so high up and the next minute we can be so high down? How can we know that by eating those cheeseburgers and those burritos and the pizza and this and that and drinking all the soda and the alcohol is going to leave us with a look of disgust when we see what we see in the mirror, yet we continue to do it? Why? Because it's hard. Because it's hard. And nobody wants to do the hard stuff. Everybody wants the easy path. That's why. I'd like to continue this conversation on the topic of hard. And I truly believe that why is the big part about it. When I read the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek, it was a great, powerful book, probably one of my top 10 books of all time. And he says you should always start with why. And I gave that advice the other day to somebody because there's accountability challenge that's going on, and there's a little bit of failure, and I'm noticing a little bit of pattern. I say, hey, why are we picking up the consistency of doing the wrong thing when we know we're supposed to be doing the right thing? And I got a simple response, and I say, well, that's what's on the surface. Let's dig beyond the surface, and let's kind of get to the root cause of the problem so we can really see why you're failing at this challenge that we presented you. And I highly recommend isolating and sitting by yourself, because the problem is, there's a reason why we scroll on social media all the time and we just look, and even though we could be so much more productive in other areas of our life, that mental scrolling and trying to figure out what's going on in everybody else's life as opposed to our own, there's a reason why that actually exists. And I'm just curious as to why. Why is there a reason behind all this? I'm just curious. Can anybody help me out? We look at the answers here. A lot of hays and good mornings, but no answers to the whys. Why is this a real thing? Why does the dose exist? Why do I care so much? Why do I care so much about other people's success than other people care about their own success? Why is that a real thing? And it all boils down to the mirror. Why is hustling and grinding and consistency so publicized in the late teens and the early 2020s to the point where it's causing mental depression on people, and we're acting like it's not a real thing? I mean, I had a conversation about somebody. I got this great book right here. Love this book. Highly recommend this book. If you've never read this book will light your soul on fire. I love it. I really did. Why after I read this book, I felt like I can run through a brick wall. But then why after a year and a half later, I'm realizing that it's really not good for your mental health? Why is the person that made this book literally on social media often showing busted and bruised knees and on hospital beds and near-death experiences and stuff like that? And why do we think that's cool? Just curious. That's why I say I don't like motivation. Motivation is temporary. You're relying on somebody else to give you a temporary feeling, a boost of energy to do something that you already know what to do. That's why it's garbage. I agree with you, Mel Robbins. It's garbage. But then when we have this mindset of hustle, 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 go, 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 grind, 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 I don't think we understand the mental ramifications that has, that taxes on your brain. I'm here to tell you, and feel free to disagree with me because I don't care. It's not long-term sustainable to go 100 miles an hour consistently all the time. You may receive short-term benefits of it, but what are you sacrificing? The long-term ramifications of this thing right here. Can you imagine just going outside right now, cutting your car on, starting the engine, putting your foot on the accelerator and pressing it all the way down to the ground and just holding it there and 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 holding it there? What do you think is going to happen to that engine after a while? That is the equivalent of your hustling, your grinding, your goal, your craziness, your consistency. That's just being on all the time. That engine is equivalent to your brain. If by doing that to your car, you know you'll wreck your engine, what do you think you'll do to your brain? So why do we publicize and idolize that so much? Why? I'm just a little bit curious. Again, this is a debatable topic. I'm open for a discussion. Why do some people feel like they can't have this conversation and debate and be able to go back and forth and still be friends afterwards? Why? Just why? If somebody's got the answers, please tell me. I would love to know why. I would love to open up this topic of discussion because it's near and dear to me. It's heavy on my heart, and I really believe that it's the tough conversations, the tough things, the self-analyzation, the self-accountability, the looking in the mirror that is truly going to help people to get to exactly where they want to be. Why is mental health not talked about enough? Seriously. Why is embarrassment and shame and how people, how you think you may look to people made such a bigger deal than solutions to problems? Gosh, man, that's it's tough. I'm sorry. I'm on one today. I just, I get a lot of messages saying, Markiss, you're real, you genuine, you legit, you 100%. I'm not afraid to rock the boat. I'm not afraid to have the tough conversations. It's real out there. And the more we sweep these things under the rug, as opposed to look for long-term sustainable solutions to the problems, we're going to continue this vicious cycle of not accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish. You know what I figured out? I'm about to be 38 years old next month. I'm just not figuring it out. Life is really this constant moving jigsaw puzzle. You ever feel that just when you think that you got life figured out and you're on cruise control, something else just pops up? Life really is just one big long-term moving jigsaw puzzle that just does not stop, and you'll never have it 100% figured out. So what do we do? What do we do to continue to solve that jigsaw puzzle? How do you move what seems to be this huge Mount Everest? I was once told, one stone at a time, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. My friends, life isn't about what happens, it's how you respond to what happens. And I'm going to say that again for the people in the back that may not have heard that. Life ain't about what happens to you, it's how you respond to what happens to you. So how will you respond today? And why will you choose that method? I just want y'all to know I do what I do from the heart. I don't expect anything in return. I'm just out here yapping. I want y'all to have a fantastic day, and I will see y'all on Friday.